Here's something that should make every attorney who has ever considered a lateral move pause and think about. Dewey and LeBoeuf, one of the largest law firms in the world, more than 1,000 attorneys, a century of history in the name, gone spectacularly in 2012, with enormous consequences for the partners who had moved there, the clients who had relied on them, and the attorneys at every level who suddenly found themselves looking for new positions in the middle of a firm collapse. Dewey is a dramatic example, but the history of the legal industry includes a long list of firm failures, mergers born of financial desperation, and rapid deteriorations that partners, including sophisticated senior partners who would have had access to the information, didn't see coming. I'm Andrew Wilcox, legal recruiter since 2003. Today, I want to talk about how to evaluate a law firm's true financial health, not the version they present in their press releases and marketing materials, but the actual picture that tells you whether this is a stable institution worth betting your career on. So, why financial health is a lateral issue? Every lateral move involves risk, but one of the most underappreciated risks is institutional stability. The risk that the firm you move to is not as solid as it presents itself, and that the platform you're building your next chapter on has structural weaknesses that will manifest at the worst possible time. The attorneys most exposed to this risk are typically partners making significant moves. People who gave up a stable position at one firm may have left clients and colleagues behind, and now they're building their next phase at a new institution. If that institution has financial problems, the fallout can be severe, and the recovery timeline is long. So, how do you actually evaluate this? The metrics that matter. The legal industry has a set of financial metrics that are genuinely diagnostic of firm health. These are not secret. Most of them are reported annually in the legal trade presses, the AM Law Rankings, Legal Business, the National Law Journal. These publications report revenue per lawyer, profits per equity partner, revenue growth rates, and other key indicators that let you make meaningful comparisons. But knowing the metrics and knowing what they mean are different things. Let me walk you through what to focus on. Revenue per lawyer. This is a broad indicator of the firm's overall productivity and billing levels. A firm with high revenue per lawyer is generally billing at premium rates and handling premium work. A firm with declining revenue per lawyer, particularly if the decline is persistent over multiple years, may be losing pricing power, losing sophisticated clients, or losing the kind of attorneys who generate high value work. Profits per equity partner. This is a single number that most directly reflects the firm's financial health from a partner economics perspective. Strong and growing PPP suggests a firm that is managing its cost structure well, maintaining or growing its revenue base, and distributing significant value to equity partners. Declining PPP, especially sustained decline, suggests deterioration of some kind, growing overhead costs, shrinking revenue, or the equity base expanding faster than the economics can support. Revenue growth rate. A firm that is growing revenue organically through expanded client relationships and new business development is in a fundamentally different position than a firm whose revenue is flat or declining, or a firm that is growing only through lateral acquisitions. Organic growth is health. Acquisition-driven growth requires careful evaluation. Is the firm building something coherent, or is it buying revenue to mask underlying weaknesses? Then leverage ratio, the ratio of equity partners to non-equity partners and associates is a structural indicator of the firm's economic model. High leverage can mean the firm is extremely profitable. Large numbers of associates generating fees that flow to equity partners. It can also mean the firm has a large non-equity layer that creates overhead pressure and partnership track complications. The things you can't find, though, in the rankings. Financial metrics give you a baseline. What they don't give you is a full picture of firm health, which also includes qualitative and structural factors that require different methods of evaluation. Partner departures are one of the most important leading indicators of firm health, and they're often visible if you're paying attention. When multiple senior partners leave a firm within a short period, it is almost never a coincidence. Something is happening: a strategic shift, a compensation dispute, a cultural problem, a loss of confidence in leadership, and the departures are the symptom. Track partner movement at any firm that you're seriously considering. And then lateral hiring partners are the other side of that coin. Is the firm actively and successfully recruiting strong laterals? Are the attorneys that are bringing in people with genuine credentials, strong books, established reputations? Firms that are financially healthy and well run tend to attract quality laterals. Firms in trouble tend to either stop recruiting altogether or make increasingly desperate lateral hires. Debt and real estate obligations are not publicly disclosed in many cases, but they matter. The Dewey collapse was substantially driven by guaranteed compensation structures and real estate overhead that couldn't be sustained when revenue declined. Asking directly about the firm's financial structure, its debt levels, its lease obligations, its guaranteed compensation commitments is reasonable, and the answers you get or don't get are informative. The conversations that you need to have if you're in a serious lateral evaluation, you should be speaking with current partners at the firm, not just the people they've designated as references. Independent conversations with partners you identify through your network. Ask them directly, how does the firm feel right now? How is leadership communicating about the firm's financial position? What are the concerns people are raising internally? Partners who are happy with their firm's financial health will say so without hesitation and with specifics. Partners who are worried or who are being kept in the dark will tell you something in how they answer those questions, even if they're not being explicitly negative. So the standard you should apply. You wouldn't invest a significant portion of your personal wealth in a company without reviewing the financials. A lateral move to a new firm is an investment of something more valuable than money. It's an investment of years of your career, the relationships you've built, and the professional trajectory you've worked to establish. Apply the same diligence you'd apply to any significant investment. Ask the questions, read the public data, have the independent conversations, and if something doesn't add up, if the story you're being told and the evidence you're seeing are in tension, pay attention to the evidence. Firm financial health is not glamorous due diligence, but it is necessary due diligence. I'm Andrew Wilcox. This is a Lateral Brief. If you'd like to have a confidential discussion about your practice or career goals, please email me at andrew@wilcox-legal.com. As always, grateful, Andrew Wilcox.